Hi everybody, it's Chrissy. Today I'm doing my first ever how-to video. I'm using Elegant Flowers, a new stamp set from the December release at Sweet Stamp Shop, and I'm showing you how I made this awesome watercolor floral card. For the card I used some watercolor paper, some watercolors, a water brush, my stamp set, and I used a little bit of this Delicata Golden Glitz pigment ink, just for a little extra fun. My first step is to get some nice dark watercolor, and I use the dark shade in all of the spots that I would presume would be dark on a flower, which would be kind of the lower parts and in the creases where you would have shadows. And I move up to a medium color, and I use this watercolor kind of to shade on my stamp as though I were actually painting it on the paper. And then a little bit lighter of a color. And even a little bit more. The neat thing about this is you don't have to be particularly neat, and you get some really cool looks, and every flower looks completely different. And I stamp it down. And see, you get kind of a neat effect. Now for this one I'm going to try to make it a little darker, so I don't want quite as much water. Okay. And if you like, you can clean your stamp off in between. Just a simple wipe will work wonders. Don't worry about leaving some white space. One of my art teachers in college always says that if you're doing watercolor, you need to see the paper through it in some spots, or it just doesn't look like watercolor. I always thought she was crazy, but the more I played with watercolors, the more I realized that she actually knew what she was talking about. Imagine that. Okay, now we'll go ahead and let that dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back to it with the outline stamp. And I decided to use the gold just because I thought it gave it a little shine, but still gave it enough dimension that you could tell that it was the outline. So there you have my flowers. And then I wanted a little bit of green. as you can see, I put some leaves in there. So I toyed around with drawing them in or watercoloring them or how I wanted to do that exactly. I figured watercolor since everything else was watercolor. And I just kind of roughed some leaves in. So there you have my basic technique for this card. Then I just finished it off with a sentiment and a little bit of metallic paper. And I think it makes a very nice, classy sympathy card.